Well, there's a second part to this prophecy. He's gonna give you a different version, and he's gonna tell you, confirm what I said. That's what God done this. Now, verse 36, Daniel chapter 2. This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation at all. I said there. Okay, he gonna give him an analyze. The stone that cut this out, that did this was Jesus. That's verse 25. I didn't bring that. It was Jesus. And I'm sitting up, and what I said, I'm preparing the way for the return of Jesus. And I said, this is the time where I am, and this is proof that I'm preparing the way for the return of Jesus. Because the stone that was cut out without hand, this came from Jesus. This came from the mountain, Jesus was. It smote the image up on his feet. We worked one with the other, as you saw Jesus, the voice in Exodus chapter 24, I believe it is, 25, 25. The Ark of the Covenant, where God placed the voice was coming from a God between the two cherubim. It meaning we was working together. I was the judge, which was symbolized by the black horse that I don't have here. But this here is the red horse, which is this image here that I got here. And the pale horse is also this image here. But God finna tell you that this brass here, these military gems, as we call it, our brass, in the second part of here. Now, let me read. Still, Daniel chapter 2. Daniel speaking to Nebuchadnezzar. This is the dream, and we will interpret. This is the interpretation. This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. This is interpretation. You reveal a king for dream for. Now he is telling the interpretation. It got to be consistent with what I say. And must be. Thou, O king, art a king or king, for the God of heaven has given thee a kingdom, power, and strength, and glory, because of the mindset he had, because he had to use him as a vessel to show his peoples what vanity would cause. And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the fields and the powers of the heaven has he given into thy hands, and has made thee ruler over them all, that thou art this head of gold. He's telling you the descendants out of Nebuchadnezzar, who is going to become the dominant nation of the earth, the richest nation of the earth, because of his need, and he became a superpower. God was going to give him dominion over the earth because he was the deceiver of the people, telling them that his factors, he could make them great under this umbrella of law of democracy. But when they do away with the law of Moses and take on this law of democracy, because this image who was going to be the richest nation of the earth, which is the head of gold, which is the United States of America, he was going to cause God to curse them because they would have forsaken the law of Moses for this law. And in doing so, God was going to turn the whole world into his hand, because at the time that this nation would come over there into the Middle East, spoken of in the prophecy of Job, he's going to already spread democracy everywhere, and this was going to be the last place, which God gave us in the prophecy of Job, that he had enlarged to the breadth of the earth, democratizing the whole earth, dividing the whole earth, getting them to yield to a democratized system, and had turned away from God. So God was getting ready, every nation which he had democratized in this conquest over 2,000 years, God was going to give them into his hand, and he was going to slaughter all so many nations. He was going to give them dominion, victory over World War II. It'll go. United States. It was not a gift, but it's to be a curse to him. And he was the one that's going to be the ruler over World War III with the United Nations right here, united together. These was. But the head of gold was the one that carried them over there, which was the red horse here. Now, and after they shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass, the third kingdom of brass, which is the military generals, which would be coming from the same family tree. The military of brass, which shall bear ruler over all the earth. The third kingdom. Head kingdom is the United States of America, is rich. The second supportive nations is the silver. But the brass is the one that's going to rule the world because these are the military generals. They're the one fight wars and the strategies for wars. This kingdom, and this is the kingdom. United States of America, United Nations, the brass, the general is the kingdom because they is the infrastructure of the military fighting force. They get their head orders from the gold to silver. And the vehicles here, this brass, which is top brass, they're the one that is going to have these foot soldiers here to take their vehicles around that they had the rich man hadn't created made for them to dominate the poor. They're going to drive these things. But God is going to hit the food chain. When God hit the food chain, and all of these here soldiers and destroyed these soldiers here from virus and so many things, then they don't want to have nobody to drive these vehicles, which the leg was part iron. And when they start dying of starvation and of famine and everything, he said, told you what the season looked for. Pestilence be eating up their crops and famines in the earth, then they can't drive these vehicles with no food and no water. Then the brass, which is the generals, they don't have soldiers. The silver, who is the richest nation, they don't have no generals to fight with them because they don't have no soldiers, because they don't have no bills. But in the richest nation, these people became the mountains of earth. These became the angels who served these mountains, the brass, and the vehicles and the soldiers become the executioner of the world's order. And doing so, when God destroys the weakness, all of this can't do nothing but fall. This is the source, the small man that they get to pass their agenda, saying they're holding up their integrity towards the United States of America. But this is what they say. Deceive them in what they say. But it's all about the rich and famous. It's all about the rich and famous. That's where it is. And that's what preachers don't want to preach. They're scared to get here. But God told me in Ezekiel chapter 2, Ezekiel chapter 2, don't be afraid. You got to go speak to them. And I have to speak to them. I can't do like the rest of the people did. And thou, he said, and the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron. This here is the military. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron. There it is right there. For as much as iron break in pieces, which the bombs and the tanks break in pieces, and subdue all things, and as iron that breaketh all these shall it break in pieces and bruise. I told you they military vehicles that they use, aircraft, whatever you do, they break in pieces. The military vehicle gonna break in pieces the peoples in World War III. And whereas thou sawest the feet, the toes, part of clay, and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of iron, but